other members of the House. The status of this bill, it passed already the Committee on ICT, it passed already the Committee on Appropriations with respect to the appropriation requirement, and this is up for plenary debate. I'm very happy to hear from the Executive Secretary that they are not averse to Congress crafting a law that would create the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Do I get this correctly, Mr. Executive Secretary?
That's right, Your Honor.
In other words, Mr. Chairman, the executive branch, particularly the Office of the President, is not objecting conceptually, philosophically, and technically, and also technologically, to the idea of creating a Department of Information and Communications Technology.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now, I would just food for thought for everybody here, and I'm sure the Executive Secretary is aware of this. In the US, they ranked the top 10 most valuable companies, and out of the 10 most valuable companies, the following are what we might call ICT companies or IT companies. Number 2, and sometimes even number 1, is Apple. Number 3 is Microsoft, and number 4 is IBM, and number 6 is Google. And a very close number 11, sometimes number 12, would be AT&T. So just for a few $1 billion, it would make it to the top 10. So out of 10 companies, 1, 2, 3, 4 are IT companies in the US. Apple is only about $2 billion, statistically almost insignificant, away from Exxon, which is the ranked number 1. I think if we look at the Philippine situation, we'll have a comparable situation in the Philippines. If we consider, for example, the BPOs as an industry, which right now is approaching about $10 to $11 billion and approaching about, maybe in about 2-3 years, 1 million employees. Add the telcos, Smart, Globe, and the others, plus the internet providers, and then add the software development companies. Animation is quite a strong aspect of IT in the Philippines. In fact, a lot of the animated movies that we are watching, I understand about 50% of them were produced or are being produced here in the Philippines. Like Finding Nemo, for example, is a product of Philippine technology, up to about 50%. So this is quite impressive. We are following the pattern of India as far as IT is concerned. In the BPO sector, we have in fact even overtaken India. This was almost inconceivable about 2-3 years ago, but we've done it. And we are slowly inching our way. The last computation I got, Mr. Chairman, is that we are a good number 3 in BPO in the world. And I cannot think of any other sector where we can be ranked globally number 3. And I think we can do better if this is going to be handled by a dedicated line department, Mr. Executive Secretary. So I'm very happy that there is no conceptual, philosophical aversion towards creating a Department of Information and Communications Technology. So we will be quoting you, Mr. Executive Secretary, when we push for a plenary debate on this matter.
If that will help, Your Honor, it's fine.
Of course, it will help. You are supposed to be the alter ego, more than any other, the primus inter pares in the cabinet, as far as the President is concerned. You are, the cabinet members are supposed to be equal, but you are more equal than the others. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Honorable Golez. Honorable Kibo, followed by Honorable Ong.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have, well, since the cabinet is essentially been operating on a cluster basis. The biggest problem we have in the city of Marikina is really that of flooding, and it's a matter that I've raised already with the different cabinet secretaries, in particular MMDA Chairman Valentino as well as Secretary Singson. What I've just noticed, ES, is the fact that the two agencies seem to be too scared to hold on to that plate as far as flood control in Metro Manila is concerned. There is a national policy that as far as flood control is concerned, it is the DPWH that will really handle it. But as far as Metro Manila is concerned, because of the long-training MMDA, they have been given that specific mandate. But it seems that there is not a single united direction as far as flood control. Whenever we have questions in terms of, they both have master plans. In fact, they have presented these master plans, but none. There's no consolidated budget, there's no consolidated timetable. And so long as we don't pinpoint any agency that will be solely responsible, alam naman po natin siya kapag talagang walang responsable. And I've heard that there have been a lot of internal discussions that, you know, in Metro Manila, there's a lot of media, whenever babaha, yung ikaw ang sasagot dyan. So, they've been pointing at each other. I don't think they will mean badly or they're in bad faith, but owing to the gargantuan task, I think that the Executive Secretary and the President should now give a specific direction as far as flood control is concerned, because we have waited for 12 months. I'm not saying that they have not done their work. In fact, DPWH has been doing quite a number, but there is just no master plan for Metro Manila. I hope that Cabinet can make a specific decision as far as this is concerned. And I ask for a commitment that, you know, at least for the interest of Marikina, today, if it required 60 inches of rain for us to be flooded, now it's just 15 to 18 inches of rain. We're already flooded practically 20-25% of the entire town. So if there's any city that's really in bad need of attention, it's that. So I hope that I can get a commitment on the part of the Executive Secretary that there be a specific cabinet secretary that will now be exactly in charge. And parang meron tayong pupurihin at meron din tayong pupunahin kung meron nagiging pagkukulang. Yes.
Yeah, we will take positive action on these comments from the Honorable Congressman. But for information, Your Honor, I have recommended to DBM just in last June release the amount of, or to request the allocation of funds for flood control for the NMDA, the amount of 375 million pesos. So I'm not so sure yet if indeed this was released already. But then the point you just made, Your Honor, is really accurate. And I believe that really we have to address the flood control. This does not cover only, flood control system does not cover only Metro Manila and Marikina specifically. This also extends all the way to Laguna Lake, Your Honor, and Manila Bay, and Pasig River, and all the tributaries and arteries of the rivers. Lahat po ng ating mga parang catch basin ng tubig ay medyo may problema na po. And the problems was created by so many factors, Your Honor. So, including environmental concerns. So, it's not just a matter of, you know, putting pipes here and there and solve na po yung flood control. Ang problem po talaga is, it's really parang, we have to approach it from a perspective na medyo mas malawak to really solve it. Because of that, palagi ko po, this is one of the reasons why medyo po, if you must forgive us, medyo nagkakaroon ng konting delay in it's really a big study, and just to make out a study on this, it's very technical, and consultants must be hired. I'm not so sure if DPWH or NMDA already hired one. But nonetheless, with this presentation, I can take on this task of inquiring from them, and perhaps probably we can put up some sort of a unit that can be assigned to specifically handle this matter.
Well, in fact, Mr. Chair, I've entirely appreciated, it's a multidisciplinary approach. I've entirely appreciated the efforts of DNR, of DA, as well as even of the Department of Energy in coming up, and they have fantastic plans, in fact, in the pipeline. What we just lack is really a quarterback to whom we can run. No? It seems that those are great, they are great programs set to be implemented, but there's really no single individual as far as Metro Manila flood control is concerned that sits on top of the program. So I wish that over the next few weeks, it can be a matter that na isang taya lang talaga. Kasi right now, Executive Secretary, with our discussion with the MMDA, they would delineate their jobs by, as far as maintenance is concerned, that's MMDA. As far as new infrastructure is concerned, that's DPWH. That by itself, in terms of mandate, is on the ground is very problematic, because the MMDA, which is tasked with maintenance, will keep saying it's a wrong pipe, it's a wrong infrastructure, they should not have placed it here. So they eventually keep pointing at each other. And that problem does not arise in other areas. May isa ka lang pupurihin, may isa ka lang sisitahin. But in our case here in Metro Manila, that seems to be an issue. So obviously it's not a question can be answered now, but at the very least that we ask is just a specific commitment that we can just have one single individual who will sit on top of all the initiatives for Metro Manila flood control.
We will take note of that.
Lastly, Mr. Chair, well, Congressman Farins and myself have been, obviously have been always supporting the President. And maybe as often mentioned, primus inter pares, you're not just equal, you're first among equals. And I hope that the same kind of discipline, marami yung kasi dito, ES nagtatampo, yung madalas pinag-uusapan na ang mga cabinet secretary hindi marunong mag-return ng tawag, hindi marunong mag-return ng text, kapag humingi ng appointment, pinapaantay ng pagkatagal-tagal, ilang araw, ilang linggo. I think it's a matter that we can avoid if the other cabinet secretaries are duly informed and kind of the same discipline, or at least the same sense of decorum or sense of collegiality that the executive secretary has been practicing. I think it's very simple. As far as members of Congress are concerned, we're not that many. Kakaunti lang ang makukulit dito. Baka naman pwedeng masagot lang. Kasi nagiging nahihirapan din po kami. Madaling magpaliwanag if there are programs that some in the minority or in some other place are in disagreement with. It's an issue of policy, we will debate with them. But when it becomes an issue of decorum, mahirap po minsan ipagtanggol. And I don't want to identify the cabinet secretaries. We've reminded them here, but maybe once again, you've conducted a session on communication when you guys were starting out on how to better communicate to the public. I think another session is probably how they can address, or at least sufficiently address the concerns. Madaling naman kaming sabihan na hindi pwede. Kailangan lang masabi. Ang mahirap minsan po, ay hindi man lang kami nakakausap. So, sana pakiusapan natin yung iba, not to make it difficult also for colleagues who are supportive of the President. Because instead of defending the programs and policies, sometimes we end up doing 50% of the job defending the decorum of some officials. They're a very small minority, but obviously we want issues to be based on policies and programs instead of personality. So siguro yun na lang din po ang panguling commitment na hiningi natin para mas madali po at mas focused, merit-wise yung ating debate dito sa Kongreso kung may iwasan natin yung ganong klaseng attitude ng ibang kabinete natin. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Honorable Kimbo. Next is Honorable Cong, followed by Honorable Rufus.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning to the Honorable Executive Secretary, Paquito Ochoa, and all the member of the presidential staff and family who are here. I have one good friend who is here, Deputy Executive Secretary Popoy Pilando, who was our president of the IBP when I was serving also as Governor of Eastern Visayas. And of course to our PLLO, who is always there to answer our requests, no? Si Bernie at saka si Joseph Guman. To all of you, magandang umaga po. Well, I share with the sentiments expressed by my colleague, definitely Congressman Kimbo was telling the factual situation of most of the complaints of our colleagues here in Congress. No? Particularly on immediate action coming from the Office of the President on calamities. Dati-dati, talagang mabilis ko ang action ng especially in the previous administration, not only on GMA but on previous administration, napakabilis po mag-action. Ngayon, ang complaint, even in my own province, it took, the flood occurs around February. It took 6 to 7 months before the fund was released to remedy the damage public highway or what you call culvert na nasira ng flood, and it really becomes a burden